Hello, my name's Zachary Smith. Today I'm going to be talking about my Moog Grandmother and how I use it with the external input here, using my electric guitar through my pedal board. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, please stick around. So I've been having some good fun with my electric guitar going through the Moog Grandmother. When you use the external input, you can get some kind of cool sounds going. The main things that I've been using are the filter and the modulation. You can run it through some other stuff, but that's kind of the main things that are available to you. So I'm running this guitar through my pedal board, which is on the floor here. I'll show a picture of that right now. I have some effects, and then it's going through the two notes torpedo cab, which is putting out like a line level signal. You can plug your guitar directly into this according to the manual, but I wasn't able to really get a level that was suitable, especially if you want to combine it with some of the oscillators. So I'm just going to turn the modulation off, the filters all the way up. In order for it to make kind of consistent noise, it has to be on drone mode. So I'm going to turn the oscillators all the way off, the noise is all the way off, and so we'll just put it into drone mode, and you can there's the guitar. Just turn the reverb off I had on my pedal board. So that sounds pretty normal. That's basically, I would say, how it sounds if I went directly into a mixing board with the torpedo cab, which has an amp simulation in it. I do have my compressor and gain pedals on the Moeller T-Rex, so it sounds about like that. You can hear that it's working, it's coming through here. So you have the cut off. Now, that's a pretty classic guitar effect if you think about almost all guitars have a tone knob on them. But it sounds a bit different. Get some more growl kind of around the edges, so I do really like the sound of this filter. And then of course you have the resonance, which I just had it on keyboard tracking, so I turned that off. So that sounds good. it's not anything too special, I don't think. Then if we add some spring reverb in there, that's a pretty nice effect there. Like it's a real spring, so it's nice to have that. My main amp is a Fender Bassman, which doesn't have spring reverb, so it is nice to have a real spring reverb around. Before I move on to the modulation, I'm just going to patch in the high-pass filter. I think if I go from the output of this filter into the input of here, I can go output from there and then into the VCA. Let's see if that works. I've been playing a lot around with the Grandmother, and loving it. Part of me, kind of my workflow for getting a real handle of this instrument, it has been to just kind of not patch anything for a while. So I've been just really trying to get sounds without patches, and then once I kind of got a good handle of that, I'll start patching some stuff in. So that's kind of cool. You can get a real narrow. Yeah, so that's kind of a sound that could be real cool, especially when you combine the high pass and the low pass filter. You get a bit more kind of usable guitar sounds, I think, out of it. But let's go. I'm just going to open up these filters, and we'll go check out the. Actually, I'm going to leave that filter closed, and we're going to check out the sine wave with some modulation. So in order to get the modulation happening, I still have to bring this up. But that LFO sound on a guitar is really great, especially with the reverb. So that's the sine wave, and just affecting the filter cutoff over here. That's a really great sound, and there's a lot of different options and tweakability with that. Of course, you have the rate, which can be synced via USB or via my BeatStep Pro here, which is really nice to get that rate synced in with something. And then the other thing that's cool about it is having real great, tweakability on the filter cutoff amount. So it's a sine wave still, but it starts getting pretty aggressive. Or you can just have a little bit. So that's a really great feature for a guitar, having an LFO. In the studio, I've used LFOs many times on guitar, so having a hardware one is really nice. So let's try some of the other waveforms. Sine wave is always going to be great. Square wave is useful in certain situations. These other two, the ramp and the triangle, are so that's cool. A little bit more synthy, a little less kind of like organic sounding, but it definitely works for certain things. Another cool sound, here's the square wave. So yeah, the modulation in conjunction with both filters, the high pass and low pass, you can really get some great sounds. Then of course you have the resonance and the reverb to kind of tweak those. Something I discovered recently was cranking up the rate until it starts to oscillate, and then you start to get some real bizarre sounds. Get it in the ballpark. So that is a really cool, that's an exciting sound for me. That can be, you can be, here's with the sine wave. So that's pretty fun. All kinds of weird kind of fuzz things start to happen when you get the LFO self-oscillating. And that's really cool. Then, of course, you can start using your filters to shape that sound a bit. Overall, I think, you know, it's more useful as a synth than it is as a thing to plug your guitar into, but it still has, if you have it around as a synth, it's really nice to be able to do these kind of things. What I've been doing is basically using it as a synth in some jams, and then, but always just having my guitar plugged directly into here, because I don't often play the two things at the same time. But you can, if we just bring this back into the realm of more of an Ottawa kind of thing. So that can be cool, and then, but pretty basic. If what I do like doing is, if you say set up an ARP that's going, doing something pretty simple, like. And we'll get our it's nice to have the keyboard tracking for this kind of effect. So I have that going, but I turn off the oscillator. So that's how you can use the envelope along with other things. It doesn't just have to be the same thing. You could have rests and stuff in there. You could make a rhythmic pattern in a sequence, and then play that, and turn off your oscillators, and then have your guitar play back that rhythm. Of course, it won't play back the notes, but it'll play back the rhythm. Anyway, so that's a lot of the things that I've been doing with the instrument input on the Moog Grandmother. A lot of fun, a lot of cool things to explore. I'm sure there's other uses for this. Feel free to let me know what they are. But yeah, that's kind of the things I've been playing around with so far. Thanks for watching. My name's Zachary Smith. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.